guys, just going to cover the install video for the Jeep Grand Cherokee here. Actually factory unit, so probably I think 2013 to 2022. You'll either have the big actual touch screen or you'll have this smaller screen and you'll have some buttons down here. All the models will work, it just depends what actual model you have and what happens. So we're going to keep all the factory options still working, and we'll go through and we'll show you how to do the install today. And we'll get a nice updated unit in here. First thing you're going to do is grab the trim tool that comes in the kit. Start down here and start popping off around here. Just need to tap the end into the end and pull it back. It doesn't sound beautiful when you do it, but it's just the clips on plastic and they can be a bit tight. So if you just slowly work your way around, you should be able to bring it off pretty easily. Just take your time when you come around. And once you've got it off a bit, you can sort of start to get your fingers in there. Your fingers are a little bit easier to control. And pull. They're just all plastic clips, so it's all going to come off okay. And that's how that comes off, like so. And then you should be able to pull that out of here. You got one little plug down the bottom here, which I'll show you in a second. That comes off like that. So everything making those clips with just these red clips here. So it's all good how that comes off. Just get the trim tool and then you can see them pop them off. I did lose one. Well, we'll put some in the kit, so you have a couple spares. But if you do lose one, you can normally find it if you look, or sometimes you can't, but we'll put extras in the kit because that could be gone forever. This here, push down and pull out. Then we've just got the big screen to come off with 4 bolts here. 7mm socket here I'm using, and just spin these 4 out. And then once those 4 are out, the whole radio will pull straight out, and then we'll take out some of the plugs. So once that's out, this will just pull out like so, and the back of here, there's quite a few plugs. I'll show you how all these plugs pretty much have the same sort of thing. They have a tab you need to push down on top, and then pull it down to pull it out. If they feel a bit tough, just push them all the way back in, then push them down again, and then pull them out, like so. And if they get too hard, just put your trim tool in there. And you got this big one here, which is actually a cam lock one, which should be locked in somehow, and I'll tell you how to get that out. The cam lock, you just need to push the end in, and then you lever up this little other lever. That's how the cam lock plug comes out. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's that, and this is your unit come out. So if you're having a bit of a hard time, I just get if I push them all the way in, push a flat head on there, and then pull it out. It's just these tabs, sometimes you can't push it down hard enough, your fingers. Look, it's cover what you get in the kit here. So you obviously get the full big screen here, built in with the fascia, and the buttons down the bottom here for your auto off, traction, and eco mode off. So that is the screen, external buzzer, a harness kit, CAN bus box that pretty much gets it all going. A GPS antenna, because this thing can run its own GPS, has the Android installed, so you can put other apps and different things on it. Pre-outs if you want to run an amp, external microphone plug. This is just an auxiliary plug. You've got the SIM card in here. These white ones go into here. These are the auxiliary plugs. Main 20-pin plug, FM, AM antenna, and then we have the 4G antenna, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth antenna, and the GPS. So I normally put the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth one on now. It's a small little rubber ducky. Just need to do that, tighten it up nice and tight. That's on there. That's the FARC adapter for the FM AM into there. The 4G antenna, reverse camera input, plugs into here. Some of these you can put in now. I just put them in now. External microphone, USB retention cable, OBD2 scan tool, trim removal tools, and just an extra bracket here. So we'll go through and we'll put it in. I always tell like people the first thing you do, I just put the foam from the box section down here because then it's easy to like put the hedge unit on it. Actually close that up if you wanted to. The first thing we tell people is to test that everything's going to work off first, just in case you have any like dramas, because you might have to give us a call and like send us some like pictures, and we'll need like pictures of everything to help you out. Just on the Jeeps, you can be like a variety of different actual models, but hopefully we're all good here. So CAN bus like box plugs into the CAN bus on the harness here. Your like big plug goes into here. This should line up all good. You normally just got to pop your CAN lever back out again, so you can kind of use it to lever the plug back in. Like so. That's your big plug in. Then we had our small black one here that was into your buttons down the bottom. That will plug into here, like so. You'll get a nice clicking sound, and that there is about it for now. Now we'll go and grab our head unit and some other plugs and just make sure it powers up okay. So we put the big plug into here. The FM AM goes into here, and then into the black one on this side of your actual car side. Your black one, like I covered before, plugs into here. These two cables here that will go down to the bottom, sorry, let me come back, that come from your two bottom USBs. They just go up into the two white plugs up here. Your reverse camera white plug here comes out of here, and it goes to this CVBS in. The CAN bus plugs into here, and the other end plugs into that white plug that goes down and plugs into here. Wi-Fi antennas on. The other little plug here, you've got your plug with two brown actual wires that plugs in here, that one there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs in here. You got your big black plug in, FM, AM, and your reverse. Now with all that in, what we want to go and do now is make sure something happens. Now the good news on this car is you actually have enough room to actually run it. So start the car up, and obviously you want to check on here, we get power. So we've got power, that's cool. The door's shown as open. Yep. If you go into the actual radio app and just scan, make sure you're picking up the radio stations. Pick your steering wheel control, so that's me doing the steering wheel controls here. You can see I got a volume. Oh, I've been pushing too many buttons. There was a mode button I was pushing, whoops. That's okay. They're on the back on these Jeeps, so you got your obviously on that side and the other side. So that's working, radio's working. So steering wheel controls, radio reception, always good to check AM, because if your AM's not working, the problem will be that we don't have power to the antenna amp. So I'm pretty sure we should be getting 720 around here for sure. So we've got no power on our antenna amp. I'll show you how to fix that, that's all good. Check your AC works. Oh, that's nice, it's hot here today. That's all working fine. You can see all your settings come up in here. That is happy days. You've got your other buttons down the bottom here. So your AC works all good. You've got your actual eco buttons on and off. Your park on and off buttons. Turn the car actual auto start on and off, so all those are happy. Now just reverse camera. All good, reverse camera are working. So that's all the tests you want to do. Let me just turn this off now. That's all the tests you want to do. Actually now we can actually go through and put the rest of the wires in. Just a quick note here, the FM actual AM antenna should go into that white one there. So black plug into the white cream colour one. Just a quick note there, because the other one was wrong. So the 4G antenna here, it's worth putting it in even if you think you aren't going to be using the 4G feature. Just that way if it's in and you want to add to it later on, at least it's there, you don't have to muck around. So this here just needs to come, if you come up under the dash here, it's actually plastic on top, which is all good. It's just got this little white foam there. So I actually just push this one in the back and stick it down, and then I'll show you what we do with the GPS. We basically do the exact same. So I just stick that down like that, that's actually sitting on like top of the foam. And I do the opposite on the actual like, GPS, I stick it to the top of the dash. So again, they just have little stick pads on them, peel them off. They have labels on them so you can tell which one is which, because they both have this little SM brass plug at the end, so they can look the same. Again, under here, and you can find a flat bit of the dash. You just stick it on like that. So it's basically here, clear view through the windscreen. That's what we're after. So GPS, 4G there. That's all happy days. Now the external microphone, I've actually run all up ready. There it is here. But what I did is I used my trim tool. I tucked it in there. I just tucked it in here, so I don't have to take anything off. I popped this the corner of this off. It could only just come off halfway. I used the cable, actual threader tool, and I pushed it through, and I grabbed it on this side. So that is the external mic run. We got this big cable here which has your pre-out and your SIM card. Again, you want to run that SIM card down somewhere where you might be able to get it in the future. Even though you don't want to use it like now, who knows what you might want to actually use it in the future. So it's a lot easier if you can get to it. So we'll run that down and pop it out so you can get it down the side there. All these actually aren't used on this car, so we'll tape them out of the way. But we are using the external mic, so I'll go and push that in. And then we have our factory USB retention cable, which plugs into here. And if you want to keep it, what we'll actually include in the kit in the future is because we're using both our USB spots up from the two USBs in the front there. So in the future we'll include an extra USB in case you want to go from there to a hub to the actual factory on a USB, and if you want to run some of our add-ons on dash cams and stuff. Because at the moment, our two USB plugs here are being taken up by the two USBs that are down the bottom here. So we in the future can include one that's just a USB here. You can put it to a USB hub, and then you could keep your factory USB working if you wanted to. So we also got to remove this actual bottom panel here too. So you got two 7mm bolts up the top, undo those. Then you can pull up your whole gear stifter, and you just actually put your hand under here. So this whole thing will pull up. So if you actually, it's just actually lift it from the back, and then in where my finger is, there's a T25 Torx screw. Unscrew that. Once that's off, pulls up, and then you can you don't actually have to take it too far off, just far enough so you can get to two more 7mm bolts under here, and then we can actually pull this whole thing out. So guys, on the old screen, the old fascia, we want to take off the aircon vents. So normally, yeah, these are all good. They just have little plastic clips around them. So they've got a couple on there, got a couple on the inside, and they'll have a couple around the place. They've got a big one down the bottom here. So that's how they come off, and how's that going to come out? There you go. So the technique there is I'll pop the top ones off, and then kind of actually lift it up and out, and then that will just go straight from here. You can put that straight on your other one over here. Now kind of go in reverse how you went in, so put that bottom bit in, and then get those top ones to slide in, and that will clip back in. Just got to actually make sure all your clips do line actually back up and clip in. Then same on the other side, just need to pop these two off, pull that up, and then kind of out. There we go. And that one will pop back in there. Again, put it back in the way you took it out. Tuck that bottom in first, and then get those top clips to line up and the side clips. And all these red clips on here have to come off. You can, if you just put a trim tool under one side and actually pop them off, and then clip them onto the new frame. So you go around and do all of those. So we've tidied up all the plugs a bit here. Put the FM AM to the 12 volt here, so that should give us AM radio okay. I just go through and tape things up a bit, just so they're a bit tidier. We'll go and plug the head unit and I'll show you where each plug goes. We do have the issue on this other model where the cig plug actually disappears. So I've actually tapped into the cigarette plug power here, and we might run an external one on this side somewhere. This is our first one of this model, so hopefully once we've got the kit all sorted, we'll have a different solution for you, which will be a bit better. Hopefully you can just plug into the old plug and we'll have a cig plug that you can mount down the side somewhere. All right, so we're going to grab the head unit and we'll put all the plugs in and then we'll go from there. So we've also plugged in our speaker, which is that black speaker. That just hooks into that plug there. It says speaker on here. So that just provides some extra beeps, etc. So we'll go through and I'll plug all the plugs in and then we'll make sure it all powers up still. We've got our actual vents in. So when you're doing the head unit here, it is the 4G Plus you want to use and the GPS. So take both of those off. So we've got our cable here. This is our GPS. So GPS into here, spin this on. Make sure it's nice and tight, has a good connection. Our next one was our 4G antenna. That's into there. Spin that on. So into that one next to the Wi-Fi Bluetooth, which we'd already put on before. Nice and tight. And we come across. So I normally like to work my way across here, that way I try not to forget anything. So that's into there, like so. And then we've got our reverse camera one coming through here. It's reverse camera into here. The other RCA end was plugged into that RCA coming off here. And we keep working through. Got our big white one here. A little bit limited on length because I ran the SIM card down to the bottom there. So we're working our way over. We've got our big main 20 pin one, so that'll come in here. I'll put that in a second because I'm kind of going to have to spin it around as I come in, which will be fine. Down the bottom here we've got this little white plug, don't forget about that. That pushes into there like so. And all that's left over is our big main 20 pin plug and our radio plug. Now sometimes what you have to do here is you've got to kind of put them through as you turn it around, just because sometimes the cords aren't long enough. So I'll just sit this in place, and I just had to do those two more plugs. Just want to make sure that sort of cover where every plug goes, you know. So that's the big main 20 pin one I put in, and the last one is the FM AM, and that is all the plugs in. Now what I normally do is, you've got plenty of extra room on this model, so you don't have to worry about all the cables too much, but I just sort of get it sitting in place here, which you should be able to do like so. And we're just going to power everything up and I'll make sure it all works still, because if you forget something, it's a bit of a pain to come and take it back out. It's just slow booting this time because we pulled the power from the unit. So we'll just do the quick, the CAN bus is coming through. I can hear sound. Yep, sound coming through. Steering wheel controls are working, all good. AC's working. Reverse. Working, cool. All right, now I've made sure everything's actually working. I'll sort of tuck the cables a bit more in the back and actually make sure they're not in the way, and then we just push and clip the unit in. Note here, the FM AM antenna should go into that white one there. So black plug into the white cream colour one. Just a quick note there, because the other one was wrong. So it goes back in reverse, so I'll put your pull this back on here, so you've got to go underneath your T30 screw in the back of the gear knob. So I'll push all this down. I'll just remember that if this little flap's underneath here, to put it above. And then you push all that back down to its clips, push the head unit back into all its clips properly, just like how you saw all the clips that it had on it. They all push in like so. Then there's a small bit of trim that was going to slide in the front here, and we're good. And hopefully you just seen I talked about was the cream color plug for the antenna, which was causing us to get no AM, FM. And the only thing, like I mentioned before, is we don't have like a cigarette plug. So we're going to include something in the kit that allows you to just to mount an external one out there. You can see I've put the SIM card down here. You got your two USBs here, and all looking fairly good. So there we have it. Awesome job. If you've just put that in yourself, it looks very good. We should be able to get a couple different trim options. For example, this car has the gold trim, so I think we might be able to get the trim options for the different colors. We will sort out the cigarette thing. We'll just include something in the kit. We'll come up with some cool idea for that. All works pretty well. You've got your steering wheel controls here all working, so that's very handy, which you need to have working. Reverse camera working. So trajectory line still all good. Obviously we go home here, we've got a lot more other things here. You've got a full Android like tablet you can work with. Two USBs here. You've got your same switches you had on your original one down here, so that is all good. And then if we come into car information here, you can see you have a lot of your vehicle settings still all coming up in here. All these were your safety, the driving assistant things you had before that we were just checking that would still work. This is your suspension for obviously if you had the higher quality model. So that is all the settings in there that come up still. Some of them won't work on some cars and some on others, depending on the badge of the car. Amp settings, driver data coming through here. Your AC controls here, so you can see you have your full AC setup all coming in there. Good little setup here. There you go, there you can see we have wireless CarPlay happening, which is pretty handy. Obviously you can come into your apps here, you can do the Play Store and things like that, and all your factory other options are still working. So awesome little setup here, great upgrade for these Jeep Grand Cherokees, and give you a really awesome car.